Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Cop Council. How are we all? Hopefully, all of you are having a fantastic Friday, wherever you are around the world. Welcome back to yet another match preview show. It is the FA Cup tomorrow afternoon. It is an early one for Liverpool. Of course, half 12. It's 12:15. Kickoff tomorrow at Anfield, of course, against Accrington Stanley. Again, let me know how all of you are in the comment section down below. Of course, it is a bright and early one for us tomorrow, which look, again, I fully expect a rotation tomorrow, which again we'll get onto in a little bit anyway. But of course, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Of course, get your start 11s in, get your score predictions in. I think tomorrow's prediction is probably or potentially maybe Arne Slot's most unpredictable starting 11. In terms of again rotation and who comes in for that. Again, we'll have to wait and see. Of course, I think we did get some inkling though today from Arne Slot anyway. But big up Ozan as well, saying big up Con as well. Also saying no excuses. This game we must win as well. I think of course look against Accrington. Of course you gotta. I think, of course, you've got to beat Accrington Stanley at home at Anfield, especially in the cup. But I do think tomorrow is more, definitely in terms of getting minutes in people. We've seen over the last couple of games where, again, certain players have struggled when they've come back from injury or have had a bit of a break from the team. But I think tomorrow is going to be a mixed blend of players that need minutes and, of course, obviously players that have not been used. I've got by here for me, I think youngsters are to start tomorrow. I think Arne Slot was very open with that earlier. Of course, was asked plenty of questions this morning with the press conference in terms of, again, will we see the likes of Rio Nguma? Will we see the likes of Jaden Dans? Of course, obviously Trey Nyoni as well. I do think Liverpool very much could be, we could definitely see these players introduced into the team. I think, again, definitely we'll be seeing the likes of Harvey Elliott tomorrow. I think, again, obviously Federico Chiesa, obviously big, huge question marks over him over the last 2 days. Of course, obviously with the news around Kvaratskhelia as well, of course, is, Liverpool looking to get rid of him in that sense. I don't think so this January, but again, tomorrow, if he's not in the starting 11, you then have to ask yourselves, like, what on earth's going on, of course, as well. So, again, I fully expect it to be a mixed blend of players. I fully expect it to be youngsters and, of course, mixture of the first team as well. Because, look, we've got Dom Szoboszlai coming back as well, which, again, he's been training, I think, yesterday with the under-21s to regain fitness. Of course, obviously coming back from an illness, of course, the flu that's been going around the squad, which I think has hindered a couple of players, to be fair. But of course, we need to get back to our level. We need to get back to, again, winning ways because, again, the last 2 games in particular have been horrid for performance-wise, of course. And again, when we talk about, players that are going to be involved tomorrow, again, like I said, Rio Nguma, Jaden Dans, Trey Nyoni, you tend to think these types of players will be involved. Tomorrow will have a big impact tomorrow, but I also think it's like a game for Darwin Núñez as well. I think, again, obviously to go a bit more into starting their predictions, but I think he needs this game as well to gain confidence. And whether that's on the left or in the centre, of course, I think obviously Arne Slot will play him for me on the left tomorrow. Of the front three, but I do think as well you need to, again, get confidence in certain players, and I think obviously this is a huge game for that, of course, anyway. But let me quickly read out the comments, of course, anyway. Get your guys' thoughts, of course, in the comments as well, of course. Let me know your guys' thoughts. Ozan says Wataru was on the media release, 100% he's starting. Yeah, 100%. I think Wataru will be starting. Centre back or midfield is to be determined, of course. I don't know a single player from Accrington Stanley who are their danger men. To be fair, if I was going to sit here and go, yeah, I watch Accrington every single week, week in, week out, I'd be lying to you, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. Of course, just taking a look at their statistics, look, obviously they are currently they're down in 19th in the second league. What am I on about that? League Two, sorry, and they're down anyway. But again, look, it's one of these games where anything can happen in the FA Cup, and again, you have to respect that. And look, even though they are 22nd in, not 22nd, sorry, they're 19th in League Two. Again, I fully expect a very tough game tomorrow because again, this will be the games of their lives. I think one player in particular from Accrington, of course, obviously Josh Woods, of course, huge Liverpool supporter. Obviously, his reaction to, of course, the draw went viral. Of course, obviously he, obviously back and forth, I think, with Ibu on Twitter as well, which was a really nice thing. And I think again he's had interviews. I think even Redmen went out to Accrington and did a piece with him as well, and a few others from Accrington as well. Few Liverpool supporters there, which will probably be a bit weird for them. Especially, but I think when you do look at it, an overall sense, of course, look, Liverpool need to be taking the opportunities there as well. But looking at their statistics, to be fair, again, top goal scorer. This is just again League Two statistics. Sean Wally, I think it is. Again, with 6 goals in League Two. He also is their top assister as well. So 10 goal involvements for them this season. Again, looking at their form basically in the league. Again, away from home, they've played 12 this season. Got three wins, 2 draws, and 7 defeats. Scored 17, conceded 24. At home, they've played 11, won 3. Drawn 5, sorry, and lost 3 as well. So obviously a very mixed bag in that sense, of course. But look, at the end of the day, like I said, it is one of these games where you look at it, and I think, look, obviously on the face of it, Liverpool should, completely wipe the floor with Accrington tomorrow. But of course, we all know that doesn't tend to happen. I think everybody remembers, I certainly remember, one in particular, like Barnsley, for example, come to Anfield and beat us back in, was it 2007? I think it was. They come in and completely battered us that day as well. When, of course, that was a huge shock in the FA Cup. And you always tend to get shocks, in the FA Cup, and that's probably the great thing about the cup competitions. Of course, there's always a giant killer in that sense that goes on a run. Like we've been on the back end of that, especially throughout the years. I think Bradford. I think we played a couple of times. Oldham as well. I remember in the FA Cup. I remember Luis Suarez in that game, basically dragging us. I think they ended up beating us 3-2, but I think Suarez literally dragged us through that game. We were awful that day in particular, but we've had some mares in the FA Cup for sure. And I think, look, even tomorrow afternoon, again, we have to be on top level, because if we're not, again, it will go down south for us anyway. But again, let me know your guys' thoughts, of course, in the comments. But yeah, looking at them, of course, it will be very interesting to see, of course, what they do tomorrow. But big up John as well, saying, hi Connor, really hope Harvey plays well tomorrow. I don't want us to sell him. Well, yeah, for me, I wasn't really going to talk about, of course, the Harvey being sold. It was, to be fair, it was clipped up yesterday with the Kvaratskhelia stuff. But yeah, this was, of course, the headline that we even had yesterday on the Kvaratskhelia show to talk about, and we did, look, I've got, we got the slides here in terms of, again, the news piece as well. Obviously, clubs obviously contacted Liverpool about Harvey Elliott. There is interest from Bundesliga potentially for the summer, one to keep an eye on. And yeah, even we posted as well, obviously from Sky Sports, that Brighton and Borussia Dortmund among the clubs keeping tabs on Harvey Elliott, of course, for the summer. And I said this last night on the on the transfer show. For me, this would be terrible business for Liverpool. Look, maybe Arne Slot doesn't prefer Harvey Elliott, but I do think that's kind of an overreaction to have hit, of course, him not getting game time. I think he's been unlucky this season. I think especially, of course, at the start of pre-season, it obviously was the main guy for Liverpool in pre-season. Under Arne Slot, of course, got injured, and then he's kind of been lost in the shuffle because at the moment, Arne Slot, he hasn't really used Harvey Elliott this season at all. Similar to, again, obviously Chiesa, but of course Chiesa has been struggling in terms of fitness. But Harvey Elliott, once he's been fit, he's kind of been put in places where we've just kind of needed him. We've not, we've had Szoboszlai fit, we've had Curtis Jones fit, and it feels like this season in particular, or from the start of the season, somebody like Curtis Jones, who I think everybody viewed as a number 6 or number 8 in that terms, in terms of playing alongside Ryan Gravenberch. I think Curtis Jones has kind of gone away from that a little bit and is now involved in himself in terms of the number 10 conversation, which of course at the start of the season it was Harvey Elliott, it was Dom Szoboszlai that was being spoken about in that position. But now it feels like, again, Harvey Elliott is, at the moment anyway, third choice number 10 in Arne Slot's mind, which of course, will lead to rumours, will of course lead to speculation. And I think if Liverpool were to let go of Harvey Elliott, I compared it yesterday to Manchester City letting go of Cole Palmer. Now, of course, am I going to turn around and say, is Harvey Elliott on the level of Cole Palmer at the moment? No, but I think the potential is still there. I think people to forget how young Harvey Elliott actually is. And I do think, again, if we was to sell him to a Dortmund, if we was to sell him to a Brighton, and he then becomes the number 1 guy in that team, people then would go, why on earth did Liverpool sell him for? Why did Liverpool decided to let him go? And I do think it would be something similar towards that, where we would be speaking maybe in a year or two's time and go, why on earth did Liverpool let go of Harvey Elliott for, let's say 30, 40 million, for example? We look like idiots, and you do look at that and you go, and look, Harvey might go to somewhere else and it might not work out, and then of course it goes on that downward spiral, unfortunately. But I think Liverpool would be a worse team, or worse squad, for letting him go. And I think it would be stupid to do that. Because again, I know obviously myself included in that, of course, we spoke about yesterday in terms of, again, if Liverpool are going to go after Kvaratskhelia, surely that means a player's going to be leaving. I think Harvey Elliott is away from that conversation. I don't think he's for sale at all. I do think it's one of either Darwin or Federico Chiesa. Maybe Liverpool have identified, of course, with Chiesa that it's just purely down to physicality and he can't handle the training regime, of course, of the Premier League. And obviously, I think Napoli are huge admirers of Federico Chiesa's. So when you look at it like that, that makes sense in itself, to go after him. But I do hope that Harvey Elliott doesn't get sold, because I think, given the chance, and Jurgen Klopp spoke about it, before he left Liverpool. He said it that he wished he played Harvey Elliott more. And I think as well, I think Liverpool would be better off with him in the team. But again, we don't know where Arne Slot feels. Maybe Arne Slot doesn't think Harvey Elliott is one of his players or one of his style of players as well. But I think it will be intriguing, of course, to obviously look out for the next couple of weeks, of course. I don't think he'll leave in January. I think, again, that would be very stupid on Liverpool's part if we was to let go of Harvey Elliott in January. But yeah, no, I don't think he's going to be going anywhere. For me, anyway, I don't think he's going to anyway. But oh wow, Josh Wood's father was a lifelong match day steward, and I feel, oh, there we go. It's nice to hear. Of course, obviously, I think he's already said it, hasn't he? He wants the big boys shirt in terms of again, obviously player swap for the jersey. Hopefully, he does get a big name, because again, like I said, I think there will be rotation tomorrow. So again, hopefully he does get that. But big up Zane as well, saying right now, considering Curtis' latest performance in the 10, maybe Elliott will creep back in the manager's thinking. You'd hope so. Sorry, chat. Give me 2 seconds, chat. Right, sorry, chat. My doorbell went. For Mr. Runner calling COD. For I wish it was. Anyway, but no, my doorbell went. Apologies, chat. Anyway, I was just running down the stairs. I run it back. Which isn't great when that happens anyway. But I will get on to start them predictions anyway. But before we do shoot off, of course, obviously, like I said, it will be a mixed team tomorrow. For me, I personally think it will be that. I wonder whether or not we will see a surprise in there, maybe a Domsa Bosley. I'm trying to think. Who could we see tomorrow for it potentially? But I think for me, my start 11 anyway. Of course, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. Mine would be Kelleher in goal, Connor Bradley, Drell Konza, Wataru Endo, and Kostas Tsimikas. Midfield will be McConnell, Trey Nyoni, and Harvey Elliott. I then would go for Federico Chiesa, Jaden Dans, and Darwin Nunes. That would be my team. For tomorrow, I think, yeah, for me, that would be my team for sure. I do think it would be intriguing, of course, to obviously to know your guys' thoughts. Of course, our sense there. I agree with that, Con. I think that's probably the best we can do, and also rotate at the same time. But I do think as well it will be heavily rotated tomorrow, 100%. But except if we don't see Chiesa start, we know the ratings on the wall. 100% would agree with that. 1,000% would agree. I do think if he doesn't start or is not in the team, he's gone. Yeah, I would 100% agree with that. Anyway, but for me, I'm going to go 2-0 Liverpool. I think it'll be a tough game tomorrow. Obviously, time, obviously, weather as well. I know obviously people blame the weather. But again, 12:15, it's a right early game for it as well. But I think, look, 2-0, obviously, tough battle win. And hopefully, Liverpool get out of it with no injuries. And of course, minutes on the board for a few players anyway. But again, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below as well, because I'd be very intrigued to know your guys' thoughts. Of course, anyway, in the comments. Of course, I know there's people who does watch on the repeat as well anyway. But again, let me know your guys' thoughts, because I think, look, tomorrow will be tough. Goals, I think, well, I'll go for, if he starts, I think Chiesa. And I'm also going to go for... We'll go Harvey Elliott. Why not? We'll go Federico Chiesa and Harvey Elliott to get the goals for Liverpool anyway. But I've gone 2-0. Watch it be 2-1 and a nail biter now anyway. But of course, the game is on. I think it's on TV tomorrow. I think it's on ITV, isn't it? So again, I think everyone will be watching with all eyes anyway. But of course, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Of course, anyway, let me know starting them predictions, your score predictions, and of course, goal scorers as well in the comments down below. Of course, anyway. But I am going to leave it there for tonight, guys. Big thank you for everyone. No, Ozan. No, I'm not accepting that. I'm not accepting a 6-3. But Jesus Christ, what should be that now? But again, that's going to be it from me for tonight, guys. Big thank you for everyone for tuning in towards the show tonight, of course. Again, I think West Ham are beating Aston Villa, I think 1-0 at the moment as well. So Graham Potter doing a good job in that sense at the minute, of course, as well. But of course, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below, and hopefully you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. We'll be live tomorrow after the game for the post-match. So again, that'll be around 3 o'clock tomorrow as well. So make sure you are tuned in for that for the show, of course, anyway. But I'm going to leave it there for tonight, guys. Big thank you for, like I said, for everyone for tuning in. I've been Connor from the COD Council. I'll see you guys later. Ta-ra.